I had this idea. It's like, what if all of the like pantheons across human culture were really just the same beings, and the differences were because of how people saw these beings. From the Caribbean, we are seeing this trickster archetype as like a Nazi or a rabbit, and somebody indigenous to America would be seeing it as coyote, the Norse, Loki, that kind of stuff.
You had touched on that a little in your run of Monsters and Myths.
For me, it was looking at cultures across humanity and seeing a lot of similarities.
Narratives, yeah.
Greek and Roman, a lot of the gods are pretty much the same thing, just different names. That's kind of where that, like, another influence there was looking at the world. I think that the world is kind of basic, not gonna lie. But then when you read like the Bible or like mythology or whatever, you're seeing like all this magic adjacent stuff. You know, you got a guy with like long hair killing armies with the jawbone of a donkey and all sorts of wellness.
Does sound like a great campaign. I think there is something for me that is so, I don't want to use the word sacred, but it feels like the right word to use. But it's so important to each culture that they see their own, it's weird to refer to gods as creations, but they see their own creations as so unique to them. But I do notice that trend in terms of a lot of cultures having these archetypes, especially because I realized along the Caribbean, and I was doing a lot of the research for the monsters for the game, there is a trickster. There is so it's usually this sort of male trickster or male to gender neutral type of trickster entity. There is the seductress. Sometimes it leans male, but there's always this temptress that is involved. And
Yeah,
then there's just this beast. There's just something that destroys. So there's something that tricks, that's something that seduces, and there's something that destroys. And then most cultures also has this thing that like watches over and keeps safe. But those keep coming up in different ways, from like the seductress being like a mermaid or the horseful woman or like the harpies.